From me, it's just a few hours, few issues. Sorry. It was, I think, the statement by the witness is quite straightforward.
Yeah.
I think all we ought to do now is to cross-reference one of the things that the witness is saying with Gerald Masemula as he appears next week. So I think it has helped us a lot in some of the things. I think part of what I've noticed is that you're saying some of the issues you were investigating were finalized for investigation and referred to IPID and some to IDEC. And our experience since we have started here, we've received numerous testimonies of how both IDEC and IPID have been neutralized and compromised, weaponized in some instances to deal with the internal issues at SAPS. So what is your experience with both IPID and IDEC?
And thank you very much, Chairperson. In other investigations, I don't think it is, they are all compromised, let me put it like that. But I also have experience, as I also mentioned in one of the cases, where I'm saying I was interviewed earlier on after the judgment, and it was interestingly, Chairperson, at a time, it was still ID, and they had investigators from IPID that were seconded to them. They were not yet appointed permanently. So that team was a team that was involved when they wanted to interview us and General Sithole. Now they are in IDEC. After the court judgment, they interview me, they decline to prosecute. But a few months down the line, when General Masemula wanted to discipline me again on the very same matter, now there is a case which was never there when I was interviewed of 571 January. They submit a report in May for me to be a negative recommendation, which is signed by the executive director, a report and a covering letter. But they start investigating the matter.
I want us to do this.
Okay.
Is it your evidence that IPID, in respect to your matters, was compromised?
Yes.
Is it your evidence that IPID, in relation to your matters, is compromised or was compromised?
Was.
IDEC.
Not IDEC. IDEC, I never
You
had.
didn't deal with IDEC.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine then. Let's go to unlawful instructions. I want us to be specific and clear. I heard you saying you got instructions to abandon these investigations.
Which one are you referring to?
Whichever.
Okay.
But as long as you got such an instruction, whichever particular case it may be, it was, even if it's mine, it's for Advocate Mkhize, it's for Honorable Sangweni, but the fact is, there is only one law certainly applies to that conduct. So apart from the DC, did you get any instruction from either General Masemula or General Cele to appoint a particular company for a particular service?
If you look at the matter of RT15, General Cele.
Which one is RT15?
The cell phone contract,
Okay.
the transversal contract.
Yeah.
General Cele wanted Vodacom. He told me straight, he did not chiga. He told me straight he wanted Vodacom to get that contract. And he was engaging me on a constant basis. And he wanted constant feedback of what is happening. He said that must not be allocated until I tell him what is the status of the process. Yes, it happened.
Okay. Did you, whether verbally or in writing, receive an instruction from both or either of the two to halt disciplinary investigation? Except that someone briefs you, you meet in the corridor, and all those things. Did you directly receive, whether in verbally or in writing?
To hold a disciplinary
Yes,
investigation.
that don't proceed.
General Cele said to me, why have I recommended General Jacobs to be disciplined on the two matters that I investigated, which I have explained earlier on. General Masemula, when I was giving him feedback on the status of disciplinary matters, he said, you guys are still busy with these matters. Though it was not a direct pronouncement that stopped it, but he said, hey man, you should leave these things to die a silent death. Those are the insinuation from me to say that he wanted me to stop their process.
But there is no direct instruction
No,
that says, don't discipline so and so. Okay, it's fine. Then there is you say I became a target in paragraph 28 of former Minister Cele's associates. Are these associates within the police service?
It is generally known in the police that General Cele was very close to General Ngwenya.
So the first associate is General Ngwenya. The second associate? What's the name of General Ngwenya? You don't know the name?
Bonang.
Bonani.
Bonang.
Bonang, not Mateba.
Oh. Bonang Ngwenya.
Okay.
General Masemula is a favorite of Cele, and I will say that with expansion. Just before the former National Commissioner left the police, the General Cele approached me several times and pleaded with me that I must not agree when I'm called to be appointed as a National Commissioner, because he wants to appoint Masemula just for 2 years. So to me, he preferred him more than me.
Okay. So you have two in your database. Yes. The associates.
So far, yes.
So far. Okay, that's fine. Anoken Kize is correct. You are not finishing this part of the risk in your life. There is this risk that is posed by all these things. Then you later speak about you met with SSA, but you don't really tell us then how was the arrangement. And later you tell us that in your house 4 times it was broken. So you had to stay with the criminals all night without any protection. And our understanding is that this happens after you have been through the risk assessment and all those things. What happened?
It is true, Honorable Chair, that the issue of the risk in my life is not totally out. It still exists. And I will give you an example. On the 28th last month, I had an event, a church service in some venue. And when we left that venue, it's not far away from where I stay. My family and a few people came to my house. And while we were there, their cars were parked outside the pavement. One of the people who came to my house is a lieutenant colonel who worked in the police, who was my PA at a certain stage. When she was later going home, she discovered her car was smashed, just the window, but nothing was taken in the car. And we checked through the CCTV camera. A Suzuki came, SUV, and went straight in front of this car and came back and took somebody alighted from the left-hand side in the back seat and took something inside and hit this car twice. The window fell far away and just went away. So to me, I suspect that they were just sending a message. Now we called the police, a case was opened On Sunday, they went to the house of this colonel to take fingerprints. But interestingly, on Tuesday, they sent a message that the case has been closed. They followed all the leads.
So you were not provided any security.
Nothing.
Were you not supposed to have a security as a deputy national commissioner?
While I was in employment, now that I've retired, I don't think I do require.
So you did have, in your capacity as the DNC, you did have your protection, but there was no protection reinforced on the basis of the threat in your life.
Yes, it was only on the transit, not static.
Okay, let's go to the grabber. I'm sure this might be the 75th grabber we are talking about here. I know there is always a story about a grabber when everyone is. When was this project? Which year?
The ones that of fruitless expenditure.
Yes.
It
There's only
was-
one grabber you're talking about there. Which year?
It was 2021.
2021. Okay. So the grabber is supposed to be valued at 7 million.
Sorry, Honorable, I think it was in March 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the grabber is supposed to be purchased in a value of 7 million. Is it correct that it was then purchased at a value of 47 million?
That's a different one. That's why I'm saying
Okay.
there are many grabbers.
But they were purchased in one year.
The one that I mentioned, fruitless expenditure,
Okay.
is a separate one. The one that you are talking about where IPET ruled on it. That's why I was requesting the evidence leader to give me an opportunity to explain the way it started. And I want to explain it if you allow me.
And also when you explain, you must tell us what was your role.
Yes.
So it was, you make it as one of the central issues that made you dismissed. So we want, when General Masemola is here, we know what would have been your submission to it.
Thank you very much for that. During 2017, at the beginning of the year, I'm providing the background. Crime intelligence was in a process of replacing their tools of trade. In this case, one of them was the grabbers, because they said their grabbers were operating at a 2G, and at the time the world was at 4G. Now, at the time, Major General Ngo was the acting divisional commissioner of crime intelligence. Now, while that process they were busy with, they say at certain stage they called a meeting with all provincial heads and the head office personnel, in some place at Hammanskraal, where they invited a number of companies who have the capacity to procure such an equipment, who presented to them. They said there were 8 or 10 who presented. And out of those presentations, they identify 1 or 2 who had the capacity to deliver on their requirements.
Was Paul O'Sullivan part of those?
Coming there.
Okay.
Now, while Ngobo was busy, so they were supposed immediately after that meeting they had in Hammanskraal to continue with the procurement process. But unfortunately, Major General Ngobo at the time was hospitalized as the acting divisional commissioner. So they had to proceed to Delta after. To fast track the record, then obviously, as and when they detect the threat, there was this ANC conference that was about to happen at Nasrec during December. National Commissioner General Zumane and the Ngobos attended different briefings in regard to the intelligence briefings. So on that day, which is the 13th of December 2017, as I explained earlier on, that I attended the meeting at the GCIS on behalf of the National Commissioner, and he had to attend to Courtyard Hotel on the briefing of intelligence. I don't know who else attended that meeting. So after that meeting, he calls me to join him in Courtyard Hotel, and he says to me, I've been trying to get hold of General Zumane and Ngobo, and I don't find them. Please call them. You all must come here. And we went there. On arrival, he was sitting in some room and he briefs us and says there has been a presentation on the threat to the conference that is going to happen in Nasrec. And that threat will be highly risky because our president, the ministers, and other people will be in attendance. We are required to come up with the mitigation or rather way of neutralizing the threat. So they have been having previous presentation and interaction with National Commission where I was not involved. Now National Commission says, General Vuma, I want you to go with General Tsumane to crime intelligence. When you arrive there, General Tsumane must call operatives and explain this threat that has been identified at the Nasrec conference. If it happens that there will be the operatives are able to mitigate or to neutralize the threats, let them proceed. But if it happens that there is a need for them to augment their equipment, please, because the time is shortening. Remember, it's on the 13th and the conference is starting on the 15th. So while we are there, he said, go with them, but your role is to assist them if there is a need for them to acquire new equipment in terms of PFMA and treasury regulations, what processes they need to follow. So we went there, General Tsumane called the meeting. On arrival, I arrived, the operative were already in the boardroom. General Tsumane chaired the meeting. And after chairing the meeting, there were operatives, they explained this process I'm talking about, that they were in a process of acquiring their new equipment. And this operative says, out of all the people that presented, we don't have the equipment that can match those standards. It was like the intelligence from overseas. We don't have those equipment because we haven't been able to replace our tools of trade. So there was only one company that met our one or two. They mentioned, I think they said there was one company who met, then they named the company that there's only one company who will be able to assist us. Then I started to explain. Hlongwane was here, who was the CFO at Crime Intelligence at the time. I explained to Hlongwane the processes that must be followed. They need to write an application to Treasury, which National Commission must sign, etc., etc. And as I was engaging Hlongwane, I discovered that Hlongwane understands what needs to be happening. Then I decided that General Ngobo and Tsumane, your people knows what to do. It was in December. And when I got appointed as a DNC in the Office of the National Commission, I was working at the Protection and Security Services. So I was still assisting in the major events. So I had to go to Nasrec to assist the team there that was dealing with the planning of the event. Now, I left with Tsumane. He went on his own. We're all going to Nasrec. We left Ngobo with his team. General Ngobo had to facilitate whatever needed to be facilitated. Now, when we arrive at Nasrec, while we're still waiting for the meeting to happen, General Tsumane was called by Mr. Sisoko of IPID. Mr. Sisoko says to General Tsumane, I've received information that you guys from Crime Intelligence want to buy the grappers. And these grappers that you want to buy you want to buy them from the company that we are currently investigating. General Tsumane engaged with him and he said thereafter he called the National Commissioner to say, hey, I just received information that the company that Crime Intelligence referred to as the company that can be able to mitigate the threat is under investigation. What do we do? National Commission said, no, stop everything if that is the case. Then inform Vuma to also stop assisting Crime Intelligence. Then General Tsumane comes and informs me. So everything was finalized on that day. Now, as and when I interact with General Ngobo, General Ngobo gives me this information to say, while they started with this process, Mr. McBride has been approaching him because he knew that they wanted to buy the grabbers. And Mr. McBride is using Hlongwane and Bamuza. Bamuza is a brigadier who was working with at crime intelligence. This is the brigadier that Hlongwane transferred money to her account, whom he was charged for. Now, they say these two are being handled by McBride. They are taking out information from crime intelligence to McBride. McBride has approached Ngobo several times. He said
Just
he came.
just a moment. Hlongwane, is it the witness who appeared before us?
Yes.
Can you say that statement again on record?
Thank you, Chairperson. Hlongwane is the witness that appeared here in the ad hoc committee, who was the CFO of the Secret Service account.
Hmm.
Now,
You say he transferred money into whose account?
remember, when he was here, he did mention that he was charged for transferring 50,000 to the account of a certain brigadier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just highlighting that. Now, Hlongwane informed McBride. McBride now is coming to Ngobo daily to say, hey, here's the company. Buy these grabbers from this company.
And McBride is still at IPIT.
Is at the head of IPIT
And he's not supposed to involve himself
in those
with
procurement.
the SAPS
Yes.
in case the matter comes to IPIT for them to investigate whether police conduct was proper.
Yes,
He would have been conflicted.
yes. Now, while Ngobo is relating these things to me, because remember when I was working at VIP, Ngobo was head of VIP, so we're working together. So we discussed things. He said, McBride today is bothering me. He's coming here, right through. He wants me to buy these grabbers from his company. He's giving me a company. So it happened in the process, I think it was October, if I'm not mistaken. There was a passing out parade at the college, and I was there, Ngobo was there. McBride arrived towards the end of the program, and he went straight to sit with Ngobo. Yeah. So Ngobo reminded me, do you remember when we were at the college? McBride arrived very late. He came and sat with me, and he was still insisting that I must ensure that I utilize his company to buy these grabbers. And then I'm saying, okay, no, it's fine. Time progresses back to the issue of the grabber in the Nasrec. Now, it has been stopped, nothing has been, there was not even a paper that we compiled, unless they compiled the papers when we left to Nasrec. Now, IPAD, after that, in January, wants to interview us. They're sending us summons, myself, General Sithole Tsumane, Ngobo, and Bindwan. They want to interview us on the meeting of Nasrec. They even quoted another date. I don't know, there was also another meeting of the intelligence briefing, which happened somewhere in August. Now, the National Commissioner, when we were supposed to go for that interview, the legal services said you cannot go to that interview unless you have applied for legal assistance, so that if there is anything, your legal fees will be paid. You also need a counsel to advise you to go with to that interview. Then they wrote to legal services, wrote to IPAD to say the officers, and they gave us a short notice. I think the letter came on the 13th, they wanted us on the 15th of January. We had an engagement here in Cape Town for Portfolio Committee. The officers are willing to cooperate, they want to be interviewed, but they have this engagement and they are also applying for legal assistance. Legal assistance, which was approved, it was sent to State Attorney. State Attorney appointed Mketso attorneys to assist us in the interview for IPAD. While we are preparing to go to that particular interview, comes the summon, the subpoenas, were subpoenaed, that McBride was in a hurry for us to go to that interview. How the subpoena comes, amongst others, there was an attachment of a case of common assault as part of the reason why they wanted to interview us, which when the lawyers looked at that and they said, no, but this is not it. You can, IPAD cannot compel you to come to the interview with all this. So a decision was taken that we must take these subpoenas to court, because this magistrate has issued, amongst others, these subpoenas, amongst others, there's common assault case attached, etc., etc. How did he issue it? Because the only thing we knew about is a meeting of the 13th of December in Courtyard Hotel. What is all these things? So that was the reason, the main reason we went to court. While we are still preparing to go to court, in one of the morning, 6 o'clock, National Commission used to arrive at work 6 o'clock. So we had a meeting. Then there was, I found in the office of the National Commissioner, Mandla Mahlangu, the late. Mandla Mahlangu came to see the National Commissioner to explain to the National Commissioner that they are involved in these investigations with McBride, and he is the lead investigators. And part of the things that they are investigating, they have targeted people who are a threat of becoming the National Commissioner. He explains the matter of General Patlane. He explains the matter of General Mutiba, but Mutiba was left because he didn't last for long. He says, now, here is the matter that has made me to come and discuss with you, National Commissioner, because the matter of the NASREC, the narratives that was fabricated in a meeting with O'Sullivan, together with all those role players that were mentioned by Mr. Nkabinde here. Now, when they manufactured those narratives, the aim was to discredit the National Commissioner, General Khetla Sithole, because McBride wants to be the National Commissioner, and apparently he was promised to be the National Commissioner. Now, when that information is presented by Mahlangu, we know Mahlangu, he works at IPAD, and he spoke also of this Mabula investigations and all that. He says these things were manufactured in a house in, is it Bedford View? Can't remember the name, which he used to be. So this is information that is related to the National Commissioner by Mandla Mahlangu. Now Mandla Mahlangu saying, we were going along with these investigations, but what we have realized is that McBride is targeting Black people who are appointed as the National Commission. Now, can you give me an opportunity, please? Otherwise, I'm obstructed.
Yeah, you're given. That's why I'm quiet. It's me on the podium.
There is a sound that side.
Just ignore it.
Okay. Now, when Mahlangu relates all these things, National Commissioner then took a stand also that then it is giving us strength to go to court to challenge these subpoenas. Amongst others, that was one of the reasons that we said we are going to challenge these subpoenas to court. Then the National Commissioner instructs me, because I'm office bound and I sit in the office, there is even a statement attached here. I must be sit with all the relevant role players and we compile an affidavit with the lawyers, founding affidavit that I submitted to court, because he said you are easily available when they need to sign things, there won't be problems. That's how we went to court. While we went to court, still dealing with Mandla Mahlangu's matter, there was a day when National Commission organized a meeting. We even went to State Security to see Arthur Fraser, together with Mahlangu. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember whether Nkabinde was there as well, but it was General Mkhwanazi, Didier, myself, Tsumane, National Commission. We went to Arthur Fraser to brief him about this matter, and he committed to look into the matter. I may not know the outcome because obviously he was liaising with the National Commission. Then we went to court. When we are in court, there is answering affidavit and all that. When the answering affidavit came from IPED, it indicated that this is not the only thing that we wanted from the police. They highlighted that from 2015, 2016, we were requesting other information from the police. It was information about KBG, or I can't remember, a captain who was sort of appointed from Crime Intelligence and Resurface, who was an agent. They listed all the information that was requested prior the National General Kehla Sithole became a national commission. So it came with that information, and all that, some of the information was requested from General Patlane, etc., etc. So it came with all that information that this is not the only thing we wanted from the police. These are other information, and they also listed the cases, but it was prior 2017. Then, hence, the court, based on that information, said, because there is also this information, the court did set aside those subpoenas for the meeting of courtyard hotel, based on the information that we provided. But the court finds us guilty on not providing the information on those previous cases. One of the cases was Fees Must Fall and others. Now, that is how the matter of the Grepper happened.
So the company Mr. McBride is engaging for is Paul O'Sullivan's company, which was suspiciously under investigation.
I suspect so. And, we were 5, ne? But as time progresses, because General Ngobo knew the main reason why we find ourselves in this situation, was removed by IPED to the court document, and only us remain who were blind, not knowing what was happening.
So, the final procurement of this, do you know the name of the company?
I view this is the
Can you spell it? Huh?
It's iView, because it was listed in the court document.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I wanted. Chair, I'm sure be done by now. Thank you.
Yeah. Honorable